You are tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
And to gain further support, join my channel membership. Hey everybody, it's Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and welcome to your dose of positivity. I am your channel for all things positive, inspirational, life lessons, all of that. Thank you all so much for being here. If you're new, subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications and shout out to all my channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you, and to all my motivated subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining me today. So let me start off by welcoming everybody who is in the chat. First in, we have Nate, the Great Podcast. How are you doing, Nate? Welcome in. How are you doing? Thank you so much. Hey, Puzzle Pieces, how are you doing? Welcome. Hey, James Wilson, how are you? Welcome. Hey, Realist One, welcome. How are you doing? Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you being here. So today we're going to be talking about, some relationship stuff. It is a Thirsty Thursday. It is Thirsty Thursday, so welcome to it. We're going to be talking today on Thirsty Thursday about, they said what to you? Okay. So we're going to talk about all of that. So let's start this conversation. We all know that, dating can be something, right? It can be some work, it can be a problem, but we're going to talk today about, the conversations that are had in the dating world, some of the things that maybe you have heard, maybe even some things that you have said. So let's get into this. And why it's important to have these conversations, because you have to watch for the words that are said during dating. You really do have to watch. You have to watch the words that are said during dating, because the words that are said is an indicator of who they are. And that's the first point for this Thirsty Thursday. They said, "What to you? Things that are said in anger are an indicator of who they are." So a lot of times we will look at somebody, they'll be saying all of certain words, the nice sweet words, right? And then when they get upset, you really find out what a person is made of. So all of those sweet, kind things that they have said, you find out who a person is and what they're about when they get upset, when they get angry, when they get tested, when they get confronted. Do they turn nicer or do they get evil? Do they come out of a bag on you? These are the very important conversations that we really need to have. Hey, Nate, how are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. If everybody could hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. And this is one of the things that I have to say, starting this at the top of the discussion. Um, when you're dating somebody, this is when you need to find out if this is a person that I want to continue the relationship with. Because if somebody cannot control their anger and they're just starting to get to know you, it's a sign. It's a sign of things to come. Because if you can't handle things, and this is the time where people are supposed to be on their best behavior, right? Yeah, I guess you could say that, on your best behavior. You're supposed to be acting the nicest, the sweetest, all these things. And if you start saying crazy words, or saying mean things, we're going to get into all of that. Then get rid of them. I mean, this is an indicator to run. So that's why I wanted to talk about this conversation. They said, "What to you?" Okay, let's get into the first point. Okay. Okay. Oh, I already put it up. Things said in anger are an indicator of who they are. Now, no amount of I'm sorry, no amount of whatever it is ever going to be able to take back. When somebody says something to you, they can't unsay it. They can't unsay it. And I believe, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm whatever, but I think when somebody says something to you, they've been wanting to say that to you. They've they've had that on their mind and their heart for a while. It's just when the opportunity presents itself, and now because they're upset, now you give them all the reason to say what they've been wanting to say. So pay attention to the things that people say when they are upset with you, especially in dating. Okay. Yeah. 100%. Yes, Nate. Facts. Facts on facts. So I used to, okay, now I'll start off, and I love to hear what you guys have to say. What are some of the crazy things that was said to you while dating? um, while everything was good and everything was fine, but they started to want me to start changing little by little. The more that I got to know them, they wanted me to change everything about myself. Could you wear this? Could you change your hair? Could you do this? Could you do that? All these things that it's like, and red flags started going off to me, because when you are just starting to get to know somebody, if a person doesn't like how you are, why do people think you should change this, you should change that? Come to find out, I found out later that they wanted me to look like their ex. So that was very awkward and weird when I found out about it. But yeah, if they're saying things to you, basically in saying that you're not good enough, or they don't like you, the way that you appear, the way that you dress, the way that you talk, then you're not with the right person. You are not with the right person. And I have to say for myself too, that I was a person that I was always trying to look past things, because I'm definitely a person that I'm not a person to be a controlling person or something. I let people be who they are. But once somebody started, indicating to me like some weird stuff, I was like, wow. Yeah, they told me on a date, could you change your hair? Could you start dressing this way? I don't like when you wear that color, or I don't like this, or I don't like that about you. And it was very uncomfortable. It made me feel some type of way. And it indicated to me that they weren't a right fit for me, because you shouldn't have to change who you are to keep a person. If a person, when they first meet you initially, if they can't like you for who you are when they are dating you, then move along. Then I'm not the right one for you. If a person can't accept you for who you are, flaws and all, get away. That's for real, Nate. That's for real. And everybody in the chat, this is a very important comment. Thank you so much for that, Nate. That it's really important that the way that you are, that a person accepts you for that and doesn't try to change you, and doesn't try to put you down or compare you to another person. That's a big red flag in a relationship. If you are with somebody and they're always saying, you don't do this and you don't do that, they're always making you feel bad about yourself, they make you feel less than, that's not right. So that's why I said, they said what to you? There are a lot of things that people say during dating that is not right. And it's an indicator that they're not the right one for you. And I will say, until you get to know who you really are, like there are certain periods of time where we just have no business dating anybody, because you're going through too much. Either you got too much going on in your personal life, your family life, you're dealing with a lot of issues, you don't have your money right together. There's a lot of reasons why we should take breaks from dating and just be by yourself, just enjoy yourself, get to know who you are, and heal from your previous relationship. And a lot of people are not doing that. We all know the ones that just hop from this relationship to that relationship, to this one to that one, because they don't want to ever spend any time by themselves. So that's an indicator. Pay attention to that, guys. It's nothing wrong with, taking a break from dating, period, and just spend some time getting to know you, having some fun, healing. Yeah, all of that. Take a break, readjust to your life, being single again, and then like find out the reasons, like why didn't this relationship work out? Was it me? What did I do in the relationship? And what did they do? And then you will be able to be well suited for the next person. But I hear all the time, this is another thing that I don't like, during the dating period, is when people will be dating each other and all they ever do is talk about their ex. My ex used to do this. Yeah, my ex did that. Or they'll be talking about them all the time. So to me, it seems like they're still in love with their ex. That's one of the things that I definitely don't like. That's a red flag, an indicator like this isn't going to work. If you're always talking about your ex, that means you still love them and you need to go back to them or get yourself right. Get yourself right. Let's see. Hey, puzzle pieces, how are you doing? Puzzle pieces says when people are dating, sometimes they change who they are to please their partners, and that's and it's why many times marriages don't last. Yeah, that's the whole thing, and that's what I was talking about initially. Um, that I went on a date, and this person was like, "Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you change your hair? Can you change your outfit? Do you have to do this?" They wanted a whole different person, and I'm like, if you don't like this, and this about me, then why are you with me? It's some of the things like I wonder if sometimes people even think before they say things out of their mouth. Oh, it's like you're a doll, a Ken doll, not a Ken doll, a Barbie doll. They want you to dress how they want you to dress. And for me, that's a red flag. That's very controlling. It's also very rude. It's very rude to, tell somebody how they should look or dress. If you don't like how somebody is the way they are, then you need to move on and find somebody who is like what you want, instead of trying to change somebody and make them be something that they're not. And I agree with you, puzzle pieces. For me, my opinion is why marriages don't last a lot of times is because people during the dating process is the indicator of what's going to come in the future. And people will see all the red flags all along while they're dating, but some people are just in love with being in love, or they just don't want to be by themselves. They don't want to be single. They don't want to be lonely, or they just want somebody to pay the bills. There's many reasons why people date, but then when they get into the relationship, they're married, and then they're like they're seeing things for the first time, and it's not that they haven't seen it before. They weren't willing to believe it. That part, they weren't willing to believe, because I can say for myself, I've had people tell me certain things about people, that they were doing X, Y, and Z. But honestly, until you want to see something about a person that you're seeing, you won't see it until you actually, like, wake up to the situation. You could be going through so much things. They could be treating you like garbage, disrespectful, everything in the book, but you make excuses for them and you put up with it thinking that you have to. And I do think a lot of times it's an indicator. If you put up with so much, if you put up with disrespect, if you put up with all of the foolishness that you don't have to, it's a sign to that person. Oh, I can use you like a puppet. I say jump and you say how high. So that's another thing that we have to pay attention to in dating. It's very important to pay attention when, like, are they a controlling person? Do they let me be myself? Am I growing in the relationship? Are they encouraging me to be a better person, or are they using me? They're playing games with me. You think you gave up on love? Oh, Nate, don't give up. Realist One says it's only natural to want to see it for ourselves when dealing with people. Yeah, that's natural. It's natural to want to see, but when it's like right in your face, that's what I'm talking about. You're dating somebody and you see that the person is lazy, they don't work, that all kinds of things. And we see it, and our relatives, our friends, co-workers may tell us about this person, but we don't want to see it. We don't want to believe it, because that would mean that another person is right. And a lot of times we don't want to accept that others are right about the person that we chose. But I always say it's better to walk away from a relationship than to stay in a toxic one where you feel so sad, where you feel so let down, and all of that. We deserve way better than that, motivators. Hey, Miss Tracy, how are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to all my members and my mod squad. Thank you so much. After 16 years, I'm glad to say we are friends despite the breakup. Oh, that's good, Nate. And that's a good indicator of maturity. When you are dating someone and then it ends, That's when you really find out how mature somebody is. Are they going back behind your back telling others your personal business, or are they still respecting you? You know, that's an indicator of like, wow, I'm glad I'm not with them anymore. So let's go on to my second point. This is Thirsty Thursday, guys. So what has been some things that has been said to you during dating? Okay, now this is a really big one. Lies. You know, when you're dating somebody and getting to know them, they say one thing, but they're doing another, or they tell you something and you find out about that is something completely not true. And I know every single person lies. Everybody does it. Hey, everybody tells lies, but the ones that are the, what is it called? I can't think of it. Where the serial liar, like everything that they say, you can't trust not one word that they say. And I feel like this is one of those things that if everything that comes out a person that you're dating mouth, you can't believe anything that they're saying to you, then you need to pay attention, because that shows that they are not a person that you can trust. And that's not a good foundation for a relationship. If I can't trust you with my eyes closed uh, to do the right thing in front of my face, especially behind my back, especially if they are talking about you behind your back, especially if they're gossiping about you, telling your personal business. There's a lot of indicators of when somebody says what to you that you need to walk away, because that's just, it's just not going to work. It will only do things that will hurt you, and we deserve better than that. And I wish more, parents, caregivers, whoever, um, put that into the minds of their children from their young. You know, well, love doesn't look like this. Love doesn't scream at you, yell at you, um, tell you lies. Love doesn't take all your money away from you. Love doesn't use you. So it's all those things that we accept a lot of things in the dating process, because sometimes ultimately our self-esteem isn't high enough. When you are in that process of still getting to know yourself, or you're still dealing with your childhood trauma and that hasn't healed yet, and then you go into a relationship, it's hard for you to identify like what is good and bad, because it's all swirled together. You still haven't dealt with your other issues, and now you have more issues. So lies is a big indicator that it's time for you to move on from whoever this person is. Because if somebody who will lie to you in front of your face or behind your back, they can't be trusted with big things, and they can't be a person that you could see an even more serious relationship, like marriage or a long-term commitment with this person. So pay attention to those indicators, like, can I trust them? Can If they say they're going to do this, do they really do it? All of those things are like really important, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation, to talk about this, to let everybody know that you don't have to take lies from whoever it is that you are seeing. So this is another one, everybody. Um, they said what to you? Manipulative words and actions. We know that verbal abuse is a big thing these days. Verbal abuse, um, and that means yelling at you, likes to argue, always wants to have the last words, or they twist your words around to make you always be the problem, right? They never do anything right. They never do anything. It's always you. They twist your words around. They make you, they're always the victim, right? And they use the manipulative words like you always, you never, those type, and nobody always or never does anything. So we really do need to pay attention, motivators, with the person that you're seeing. Do they manipulate you? Do they make you feel bad about yourself? Or do they make you feel good about yourself? All of this is so important to talk about. What words are they saying to you? Do they make you feel good about yourself, or do they make you feel bad about yourself? That's so important. And also their actions. Actions is a big indicator. Is this person not only saying with their mouth the certain words, but what are they proving by what they do? And if you see that they're doing all kinds of crazy things, like like the people who act like the ones that are on Snapped, or all these crime shows, like they have very erratic behaviors. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room. There are some people that you find out that they have a mental illness, okay? And it could be any one of the mental illness. It could be um, OCD. They could be schizophrenic. They could be bipolar. They could have what many other indicators of something is not right up here. And it's not to clown or make fun of anybody, but you have to know what you're getting yourself involved with. And there are some that you get involved with them, and it's nothing but pain. It's nothing but aggravation. It's nothing but sadness. It's and A person who manipulates you with their words, their actions, and they're always a victim. We do have to pay attention to all of those things. Let's see what I missed. Okay. Puzzle Pieces says, Nate, that is a good way to end any romantic relationship. That is not abusive, of course. Congrats. It really shows the maturity in both of you. Yeah, it really does. It really does. It shows maturity. And yeah, we have to learn to do better. And I will say that um, when I while growing up, I know for sure that back in the day, people didn't have, those type of conversations, communicate about certain things. There was a lot of making assumptions, and you jump to conclusions and think that automatically a person can read your mind and know what you want and know what you need. That's why the dating period, the dating time is so important, because you learn about their communication or their lack of it. You learn about what kind of person are they. Take some time to get to know somebody, and don't just go by looks. Okay, I will say I will say this without divulging too much information, that there was somebody that I knew, and they were dating somebody. And what they were doing is every time they would meet up and they would, go on a date with this person, that person would always, let me say, let me say it this way. They always would say that it wasn't their payday. Okay? Let me say it that way. I don't know if they were just being a cheap person. I don't know if whatever it was, but the person would always have to pay for them. So it was kind of like, are we dating, or are you my child? For me, that's a red flag. Now, your girl, I don't have no problem with paying for a date. I have no problem with it. But I don't think it should be it should be that person all the time. And especially just getting to know somebody, if from the beginning they always have to do all the paying, and it was always, oh, I didn't get paid yet, oh, I didn't this, I didn't that, and the relationship went on for a long time. And then it started to get to when they moved in together, oh, I don't have money to pay the light bill or the water bill. They were never working. So, not a very good person to be in a relationship with, period. They didn't have their stuff together. So make sure when you're dating somebody that you're dating a full grown adult, because there's a lot of people who have, like I said, have mental illness. They don't know themselves. They're not reliable. They're not any of that. So that brings me to oh, I'm going ahead of myself. Point number 4, Thirsty Thursday, everybody. They said what to you? I'm about to put the link in here for my co-host. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. We had a mutual understanding even when first started dating that no matter what happens, we will always be friends and want to see each other happy. It's rare to get that, but we were lucky. Yeah, that's good. We go into the Cheesecake Factory on the first date, whoever I come across. That's funny, Nate. Yeah, so here it goes, guys. This is a big indicator of a person that you need to walk away from, okay? They blame you for their bad behavior. So that means there's no accountability. They do wrong. They want you to bail them out of every poor decision that they're making. Um, so everything is wrong. There's so many red flags going off. So if you are dating somebody and it's always you that's the problem, they never do anything. They're always the victim, and yeah, they have bad behavior. Pay attention to those red flags. Hey Tamika, how are you doing? Welcome. Hey East, how are you doing? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. So, do you guys know some that blame you for their bad behavior? They blame you. They're always a victim, right? Instead of being a person who knows how to say uh, they're sorry and what they've done in the dating period. If you don't catch that they're doing X, Y, and Z, and they're not able to speak up for themselves and say, I did X, Y, and Z, and that was my fault, don't think that dating is going to change them. So I have one more point before I add my co host. So this is the last point, point number 5. They said, what to you? They are not reliable. They are not reliable. Nothing they say can be trusted. They say one thing and they do another. They never have their stuff together. They're always lying. They're always playing games. They're just not fully mature, you know. They don't know how to communicate. They're not a reliable person. They're not a person to continue with. And a lot of times people date people for longer than they should. And that's not a good thing. It really isn't. They're not a reliable person. So beware, motivators. Let's add my co host, Miss Nexie.
Hi, Marlene. Hi,
Hi.
chat. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you.
Oh, I was so tired. Great topic. Great topic. I was listening and I was like, oh my God. I had a checkbox, the little checkbox game that you check in everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, Marlene, and this happened to my cousin a long time ago. They were going through college and we started seeing his attitude, his changes go on, and the girl was a very nice girl. They were going through college together and he started changing his normal self, right? And we were like, that is so weird because normally he's, feisty and he's quick to anger sometimes and he does different things. And we were like, but he's, you know, so changing so much. We thought it was something,
My audience went out.
um,
Oh, that was me.
something normal. Anyway, long story short, he marries this girl. They threw a huge, lavish wedding. And a year later, they're separated because the real guy that married her, that changed himself completely to impress her, I guess, because that's the only way I can see it, eventually came out. And that's the thing that a lot of us don't understand is that that boyfriend that we date for a very long time, unless we live with them and then marry them, that boyfriend is not really who we're gonna marry. That boyfriend eventually becomes a husband. And as we're dating them, and I go boyfriend or girlfriend, they're just dating. So of course we're gonna be in our best behavior, right? But when we marry them and they have put a front for us to fall for them, when they married us, they everything is gonna change. So that huge lavish wedding went to waste. They had a son in that period, and the boy was raised by the mom. My cousin went his way, and so those things are you're right. We have to keep our eyes open. I'm not in the dating scene. I'm sorry, but I have kids, and I have to keep my eyes open for them. So we all have to be careful in this area. We have to be ourselves no matter what, because eventually our true selves is going to come out no matter what. That's just a fact.
Yeah, that's so true. That and I'm so sorry that that happened to one of your family members. It's crazy the things that will happen. People can put up a whole front and be a whole character. And that's why I always say, take your time in getting to know somebody. A lot of times the issue could be is that they start rushing for marriage, really quickly, or rushing the process, or, moving together, or want to do like big major things in the relationship, and you really don't know them and you're really not comfortable. So that's why it's a very important indicator to pay attention to what they're doing, and if they're trying to rush you.
Yeah, exactly. But another thing, Marlene, is um, you see things like this happening, to your family, and like, what I was talking about my cousin. The saddest thing is that we couldn't say anything to her because, like, first of all, she was not gonna believe us. Probably, we were gonna make enemies of my cousin, right? So, you have to like be careful on how you approach something like this, because a lot of times people don't believe you, especially if you tell them, hey, doesn't it look weird that this person is so friendly or so willing to do everything and always here? Like, when does he work? Or since when has he started cleaning the house or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they don't believe us. And even sometimes we don't believe that, right? We don't want to believe people when they bring certain things to our attention, because we're so in love with the idea of love, that we dismiss things like that. And sometimes our friends get tired of telling us, or we get tired of telling our friends certain things, and we just let it go, because you have to experience it for yourself, before, because you don't listen to anybody else anyway.
Right, and you're so right, and you're so right about that, Nexie, that a lot of times the issue is that we have to also learn to be humble too, and to really pay attention, to remove our emotions from the equation and really go by the actions of that person.
Hmm. Yeah, you do. And a lot of times, you know, like I said, you're so in love with the idea that you're gonna make excuses. You're going to turn any little thing. You're gonna look at the bad things they do and put them aside, and any little thing good that they do to you, you're gonna just turn it into something huge and beautiful and everything. And there might be more negatives than there is positive, but because you're into the idea of love, that you're just going to dismiss those things. And it is important for us not to. It's important for us to start evaluating people on their overall, not just the one thing they do for us or how they are behaving with us. We have to evaluate whoever we date or whoever we're friends with, even in this perspective, how they behave overall, not just with us.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I always say that it's so important to get to know somebody for a period of time so that you can see how they how they treat other people, like what is their job history, how do they treat their siblings, their parents, how do they react, how do they treat you over time, because they could start in the beginning to treat you nice, but later on it can change.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a good friend of mine, Marlene, that we like to um, do a lot of charity work. And um, when she was dating her husband, we I noticed it. She dismissed it, but I was like, okay, whatever. They were dating at this point. But I noticed how he would look at the people that we were helping, with like, I don't know, like, why are we here? Or, those, and he would always question the reason why we were helping. And he kept on saying, you guys are enabling these people. And I'm like, what do you mean, these people? And I remember her saying, don't pay attention. He knows what we're doing it for, and he knows that they need help too. He's just joking around. And I looked at her, I remember, and say, I don't think he is. But anyway, we always helped the homeless, and did a lot of charity work. And the minute she married him, she stopped all of that. She couldn't. They were busy. And I remember we went out to eat, and there was someone, panhandling outside, and I was about to give him money, and so was she, and he stopped her. I already told you I don't like you to do that. You're enabling these people. I gave them in money, and I was looking at her like, what the heck? So those things are the ones that we need to pay attention to, Marlene. When they say something like that, or they do things like that when we're dating, we shouldn't dismiss them, because as we come closer and turn into a, committed relationship or marriage or living together, they're going to get worse. They're not going to get better.
Yes, yes, and I'm so glad you said that. How somebody is exactly how they're going to be when when you marry them or when you become committed to them. So, this is the point of the discussion where I want to go over to the members only. So, final words, Miss Nexie?
Just be aware. If you're dating someone, make sure that that person is respectful of your entire self, and I mean by your character, your likes and dislikes. Don't allow anyone to dismiss even the most minute thing that you like or dislike. Just keep your eyes open.
Yes, everybody, keep your eyes open. And that's why I wanted to do this topic Thursday. Thursday, they said, what to you? The words are very important that they say, so don't discount the things that they are saying to you. Don't let people play mind games with you. Stay aware, pay attention, and don't just go by how a person looks or the all those silly little things that can fade away, but go by the action and how they actually treat you, because that's very important. And don't be thirsty to be in a relationship. That's why I did this thirsty Thursday. Don't be thirsty just to accept anything from somebody just because you want to be in a relationship, just because you're lonely, just because other people around you are getting married or in a committed relationship. We want to be with somebody because they actually care about us, actually love us, and treat us the way that we deserve. So thank you so much, Nexie, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Marlene. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. And everybody, like my amazing mod, Donna Just Being Real says, to date smart and not thirsty. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you mods over at the members only in about 15 minutes. Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, survive. Just know it, just breathe it and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah.